Okay.
Ready. Whenever you're ready.
Thank you. So I'd like to call the regular board meeting for District 228 to order. Can I get roll call? What is meeting access? Call to order 1.1. That's what we just did, right?
Yes.
That's just the code to show the public how to look at us right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go with roll call, please.
Okay, Mr. Canning,
Here.
Mrs. Gleason,
Here.
Mr. Johnson,
Here.
Mrs. Campworth here, Ms. Stearns,
Here.
Mr. Whitcomb,
Here.
Mrs. Ressler.
Here. All right, we can recite the Pledge of Allegiance. There is a flag in your agenda. We'll start. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And
and to the republic for which it
One
stands,
nation,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty
and
and
justice.
justice for all. Thank you, guys. All right, moving on to item 2. Can I get a motion to approve the April 21st regular meeting minutes?
so moved.
Second. Evelyn.
Moved by Mr. Canning, second by Ms. Gleason. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Canning,
Aye.
Mrs. Gleason,
Aye.
Mr. Johnson,
Aye.
Mrs. Campworth, aye, Ms. Stearns,
Aye.
Mr. Whitcomb,
Aye.
Mrs. Ressler.
Aye. Thank you very much. Item 3.1, public comments. Do we have any comments from the public? Ms. Campworth?
I do not.
All right. Moving on to item 4, the superintendent report. Dr. Kendall?
Freedom of Information Act requests. Since our last board meeting, Rick Polster, Regal Business Machines, requested copies of current copier contracts for both lease and maintenance, as well as any recent maintenance invoices. This request has been completed. Ellen Oliver, Quadient, requested a copy of the postage equipment lease for the mailing equipment used at Tinley Park High School, and this request has been completed. That concludes the FOIA reports.
Thank you. All right. Item 5.1, board comments. Do we have any comments from the board?
I do, Christine, Evelyn.
Go ahead, Evelyn.
I just wanted to report that we had a meeting of the School Board of Trustees with Mr. McDonald, and just a couple of things of interest. He recently sent out the June to July 1st through December interest earnings from last year, which our share was over $800,000, with interest rates now at like 0.25%. We're not looking for anything near that in the upcoming year. And also, he provided a report from the State Board of Education about monies that would be provided through the coronavirus federal
CARES
sharing.
Act.
Yes, none of it's been dispersed, but it looks like we could receive $1.2 million.
Nice.
And Joe continues to do a great job of investing and doing the best he can for us.
Evelyn, is that our share, the 800,000?
Yes.
Wow.
He collected over 2.2 million for the year.
Fantastic.
Now, how's that money?
It's dispersed according to how much money you have in the pot, percentages.
Right.
Right. What is that money used for normally?
It's interest earnings on the money that we manage.
What do we use it? What do we use it for?
I can't answer that, Mark. Goes back into our budget, but
Yeah.
which
Budget.
line item I can say.
The interest earnings are recorded strictly as revenues to the account. So, for example, the interest that we earn on our education fund revenues helps offset some of our education fund expenditures. So it's just recorded as a strict revenue line item to help offset some of our expenditures in that fund.
But eventually doesn't it not end up in just the general fund?
Yes, so we have a specific line item
Right.
account that says education fund interest earnings, and then it's also
Right.
its own line item on the budget document. So it's not necessarily allocated specifically to one particular expense. It's just a line item in the budget that it's a revenue to help offset the expenditures, basically.
And Brittany, now that you say that, he does show us a document of how it's broken down within the district. So, yes.
Right. So it should be broken down
By
by
fund.
fund. Yeah. And it'll say 10, 20, 30, 40. And then that's how it gets recorded in our general ledger, and also how we record it in our general budget document as well.
Now, do they give us a copy of it? Can it be emailed out to us? How much is in the account total right now?
Well, as Evelyn mentioned, the treasurer, Joe McDonald, gives the interest earning document to her. She has the copy of it. I have a copy of it as well that we can provide you with. And it, like she said, it's broken down by fund, and then that's how it gets recorded. That's how it'll show up on our AFR as well. So it's all public information.
Okay, yeah.
So the 800,000, Brittany, that's our interest off of what round figure you have?
What do you mean? What round figure?
So obviously our principal is making that interest, correct?
Yes. So
what
actually,
kind of principal? I think that's what Mark is asking. That's what I'm.
That's
right.
exactly right. Thank you, Mr.
Well,
Canning. That is what I was.
Keep in mind that we had money in there from our construction bond.
Okay.
Not only that,
That would
but
also.
I'm sorry, Evan. So not
That
only
would drive
that,
the
but
interest.
not only that, it's not just 228's money. It's all of the money that the treasurer's districts have. So I don't know the exact number off the top of my head. I mean, I can definitely get that for you, but it's broken down by a portion. So we are the biggest portion of the money, basically, because we have the biggest budgets and operating budgets. So, but it goes by every school district that Joe McDonald is the treasurer for.
Okay.
Which is all the elementary school districts in Bremen Township. I believe.
Yeah, I remember that. But it was like $40 million in there at one time.
He probably manages, all told, around 60 million. Wouldn't you say, Brittany?
Yeah, that's probably closer to accurate. And I can get the actual number from Joe. I just don't know it off the top of my head.
And obviously, it's moved around. We're just not in stocks, or we're not in just bonds, right, Brittany?
Correct. So Joe, as the treasurer, as his capacity as treasurer, he's the one that manages all the investment funds. He does all the bond pools, everything like that. So he's the one who is in charge of moving all of that around. But yeah, he has it in various different accounts, different investment pools and things like that.
And we don't invest in stocks, isn't that correct, Brittany? I don't believe we're allowed to.
That's correct. We're not allowed to invest in stocks, yes.
Okay, I did not know that. Okay. That's good, because to what happened.
Dude.
I have a question, Bill.
Sure.
You went over like the attendance rates. Did you get any numbers of how many kids are actually doing work though?
Those are individually done by teachers. So we check in for a group attendance. It's really going to be hard to determine who's doing what. We'll know that when we see grades. Teachers are reporting to counselors and to administrators kids who are missing in action, but I don't have those exact numbers right now. But there's a system for following up and checking on them.
Well, see, wouldn't this be a good time for us to have Decision Ed up and running?
Decision Ed is up and running.
But they should be able to record the grades and everything in Decision Ed, right?
No.
Well, I think by law, we can't actually assign grades. Is that right?
We can't cause due harm to their current grades.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, but we can record whether or not they're doing work or something like that in Decision Ed, right?
Well, there's in a power school, there's grades, and Decision Ed, you could also run reports. Typically, we don't run reports based on individual students.
Okay.
Any other board comments?
Yeah, I have one, Madam President. It's just, I just like to say thank you to everybody that's been helping out, all the staff, administration, everybody in 228. It's really nice to turn on a TV or a newscast on a TV and see our district highlighted. Just as an example, the other night, and I got in touch with Bill right away, probably too early, right, Bill?
Never.
I was just going through the channels and it was late at night. I think it was like 1 a.m. and there we were on the national news, Fox National News. And there's Dave Kabelkis with his kids and what they're doing over there. And it just, it's very nice to see that, because you know what, we can get caught up in the negativity and the bad things that people do in our district. And this is so awesome and that's just one example. You guys know that all the other channels, Channel 9, 7, everybody's covering the awesome things that our kids and our staff are doing. And I just want to recognize that and say thank you to everybody that's playing a part in this crisis. So I just wanted to get that out there.
What was they doing, Mr. Canning?
They were making, donating things. Well, Dave Kabelkis had his kids, if I can remember right, and anybody who wants to jump in can jump in, but they were donating things to the Midlothian Fire Department, making masks, and it's just a host of things. And to see that on the national news and the national news highlight District 228 Bremen, it just gave me chills down my back. I couldn't believe it. And Bill, I think I did text you at 1 or 2 in the morning. I was so excited for our district. But, obviously you guys, see, when we have problems and things get highlighted in the news not often, but when it does happen, and I just want to talk about the good stuff. And out of this terrible situation, there's a lot of good 228 news. And I'm very proud to be a board member in this district and working with all these staff that are awesome and our administration. So I'm just feeling really good about our district and seeing it on the news and highlighted in good instead of bad. So,
and adding to that, Larry, it's also nice to see the graduation signs when I walk around the neighborhood. I know the families and the seniors appreciate seeing that. It's pretty cool.
Absolutely. And the lady that started the Adopt a Senior, I forget her name, and that's on Facebook running rampant. And I encourage everybody to get the seniors to get involved, their parents, because it's a fantastic program that was highlighted on the news too. It's just, there's countless stories about 228 actually on the news, good stuff. So, we gotta highlight that when it's there, because, sometimes we run droughts in that stuff, but it makes me proud to be involved in this district.
Point.
Thank you, Mr. Canning. Any other reports or comments? All right, thank you very much. Moving on to new business. Brittany, 6.1 bills, addendum to bills, payroll, and CDS bills.
Item 6.1 pertains to the bills, addendum to bills, payroll, CDS bills. These items have been reviewed and are being recommended for full board approval.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Whitcomb, second by Mr. Canning. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Whitcomb?
Aye.
Mr. Canning?
Aye.
Mrs. Gleason?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Camworth, aye. Ms. Stearns?
Aye.
Mrs. Wrestler.
Aye. Item 7, personnel recommendations. Dr. Goggins.
Under retirement, Carolyn Snyder. Under resignations, Kelly Ladiak and Maria Granite. These are being recommended to the full board for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Evelyn.
Moved by Ms. Gleason, second by Mr. Whitcomb. Any discussion?
Yeah, I have some things I'd like to talk about. 7.2, that's a resignation. One of the resignation, Kelly Ladiak. A ceremonial no for me, because she's such a good teacher, and I know that personally because she had my son in class, and when I saw that on the agenda for resignation, I just, as good as I know she is, it's disappointing to have her leaving our district. And I know people have to move on and they want to do other things in her life, and I understand that. But she's a hard one to lose as far as being as good as she is. And some people say nobody's irreplaceable. Well, sometimes that isn't true. You don't want to lose good people like this. But again, I know people have to move on. I did discuss this with Bill, when I saw it on the agenda, and he gave me a little information. But I just want to, like I said, a ceremonial no to me as far as a vote.
I'll have to echo Mr. Canning's, concerns. I'm sad to see Ms. Ladiak leave our district as well. Personally, too, she has taught my children, and I really just think she's done a great job as a supervisor of our math department. So that'll be a hole to fill, and I'm sad to see her leave the district.
Yeah.
All right. Any other comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Gleason?
Aye.
Mr. Whitcomb?
Aye.
Mr. Canning?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Camworth, aye. Ms. Stearns?
Aye.
Mrs. Wrestler?
Aye. All right. Can I get a motion to go to closed session to consider information regarding the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of a specific employee or legal counsel for the public body, and deliberation concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Whitcomb, second by, was that Ms. Camworth?
Yes.
Second by Ms. Camworth. Roll call, please.
All right. Mr. Whitcomb?
Aye.
Mrs. Camworth, aye. Mr. Canning?
Aye.
Mrs. Gleason?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Ms. Stearns?
Aye.
Mrs. Wrestler?
Aye. All right. Thank you guys very much. We'll return after we get out of closed session. So thank you.
For those of you that are staying in the open session, just know that it's still recording and it's still live streaming. Just wanted to let you know. All right, everyone's coming back. Nope, wrong. You're in the closed session still. Other
Wait.
one.
Did I
You're in the
go
wrong
to
one.
the wrong one? You know what? I came to tell you we're leaving.
All right.
Larry's on his way. Hold on. He was the last one. Sorry, Kim, thanks for letting me know. I was watching a video of my kids in a bike.
And then I realized we all left and didn't tell you. And I'm like, now you're going to be sitting there.
I saw one person go like this. I was like,
Okay.
There we go.
I'm getting good at this stuff, TJ.
All right. Everybody? Can I get a motion to return back to open session?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Whitcomb, second by Mr. Canning. Roll call, please.
Mr. Whitcomb,
Aye.
Mr. Canning,
Aye.
Mrs. Gleason,
She with us?
Have Evelyn?
Mrs. Gleason, did she make it back? Let's see. Oh, somebody's coming on now.
she's on mute, I believe.
Is she with us now, Mrs. Gleason? Let's see. Can we chat her? Is she back?
Corey, what was the code again on a phone to mute and unmute? Was it *5?
Star six.
It's star 6.
*6. Evelyn, try *6. There you go.
Okay.
Is she there now? Okay.
I had done that before, but I don't know what happened. Okay.
Okay. We're voting to return to closed session. Evelyn?
Yes, aye.
Okay. Mr. Johnson?
Here.
Mrs. Camporth? Aye. Ms. Stearns? Ms. Stearns, are you with us?
You just left.
Okay.
Who left? Debbie?
I think she just got disconnected.
Okay. Ms. Ressler, do you want me to wait or do we want to move on?
Let's move on.
Okay. All right, I'm done with roll call.
All right. New business, item 9.1, Dr. Kendall.
Item 9.1 is the non-union support staff raises. I'm recommending a non-union support staff raise to match the best raise for 1 year. And I'm recommending that for full board approval.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Canning, second by Mr. Whitcomb. I don't think we can have discussion. Can we have discussion?
Sure.
I don't think.
No.
Okay, roll call, please.
Well
Okay.
deserved.
Mr. Canning?
Aye.
Mr. Whitcomb?
Aye.
Mrs. Gleason?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Camporth? Aye. Ms. Stearns?
I think we lost her.
Okay. Mrs. Ressler?
Aye. All right, moving on to item 9.2, administrator raises.
Item 9.2 are the recommendation for administrative raises that would match the JFA raises for 1 year. I'm recommending that for full board approval.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Moved by Mr. Canning, second by Mr. Whitcomb. Roll call, please.
Mr. Canning?
Aye.
Mrs. Gleason?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson? Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Camporth? Aye. Ms. Stearns? Nope, still gone. Mr. Whitcomb?
Aye.
Mrs. Ressler?
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. All right, can I get item 10, adjournment? Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
So,
Moved by Ms. Gleason, second by Ms. Campworth. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you guys very much. Have a wonderful evening.
Yeah, stay safe, guys.